I think I had COVID. You're welcome to my channel. If you're just watching my video for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel. And if at the end of this video you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. So I just want to share a quick story. Okay, sometime last year, precisely July 2020, I had to travel to go see my parents. Immediately the lockdown was over, I had to go see my parents because since I got married, I had not traveled. So it was much needed. After the lockdown, I needed a change of environment. Anyway, my mom has been ill. She still is, but I really needed to go just see her. So I traveled towards the end of July last year, and knowing my system, whenever I travel, if I stay in a place for a long time and I travel, wherever I go to, if I stay up to 2 weeks there, I'll probably fall ill because it's like my body readjusting to the new environment. It has always happened right from when I was in school. If I stay in school, go on halls, I'll fall ill when I get home. When I stay home, I get to school, I'll fall ill when I get to school. So that's just how my system usually operates. 2 weeks into my stay at my parents' place, I fell ill. Now, I just knew it was the usual change of environment, so I had to treat malaria, and that was just it. In 3 days, I was fine again. When I traveled, the place was really cold. The weather was cold. The weather was quite different from Lagos weather, but that was not what led to the illness. I knew that one was just the change of environment. Okay, after I got better in 3 days, I got back to taking care of my mom again, and I traveled with my baby. So taking care of my mom, taking care of my baby, I still always had to make food for everybody, cater to my mom, ensure she takes her drugs. But one thing I would have loved to do, which I couldn't ever do, was follow her to the hospital every time she had to go for her dialysis, 3 times a week. I couldn't follow her because, of course, there is still corona in town. So I never went with her to the hospital because of my baby also. So we just always stayed back. My dad would take her to the hospital, bring her home, and then my duty resumes when they come back. So that's how we continued living until right in July, right? July, August, until sometime in September. The weather was still a bit cold, like it was fluctuating. Sometimes it would be hot. Okay, then it was the rainy season, so it usually rains, and then I had like a runny nose a couple of times, but that was just it. Like even till now, whenever I have catarrh, I just usually suffer catarrh for like a day of one whole day of that. And by the time I sleep at night and wake up in the morning, it's gone and I'm free again. So back then, I had catarrh a couple of times. Like I just have stuffy nose and then I'm back, and that was just it. And I had sore throat once, I remember. I think that was sometime in August. It was just like a day sore throat. I had to keep clearing my throat. It wasn't painful, but I just had this little uneasiness in my throat. So I was just doing the whole clear my throat. And then I think my dad got me strep too, and that was it. Like I was fine. Fast forward to September, guys. That's how yours truly took ill. Started with malaria symptoms. Like my body was very hot. Before I even continue my story, really, since I had my baby, even before I had my baby, I'm very cautious of my hygiene. When I had my baby, people actually thought I was overdoing some things because when I'm not going to allow you to touch my baby if you don't sanitize your hands. Like I wasn't comfortable with people carrying my baby when I had her. She has puffy cheeks, so people want to just touch her cheeks, and I was totally uncomfortable with it. Now, by around this time, there was no COVID in Nigeria, or maybe there was and we didn't know. But when I had my baby in 2019, everybody, we still had our normal lives, yeah. So my own is a newborn with a low immune system needs to be protected. So anybody who's coming to the house has to wash their hands. When I go out, if you want to touch my baby, I will give you my sanitizer because I always carry sanitizer everywhere I went. So even in church, guys, I know it's a little bit too much. It's crazy, I know. But sometimes I just try to really pipe down, like, babe, calm down. I've not deviated from my story. I'm still coming back. I just want to give you a little sneak peek into my kind of person when it comes to hygiene. Okay, so there's a day in church, one lady carried my baby. While she was carrying my baby, this lady, I don't know if it's babe or lady, I don't know, but she sat beside me and she was picking her nose. Like, there's some things that are not just acceptable. I can't stand some things. I'm highly irritable. So the lady, I collected my child from her. I just said I would like to have her, and then I carried her. The next time she was going to pick her nose, I saw that auntie carried handkerchief and was cleaning her nose. I'm like, oh, so you know what you just did, right? But that's where it ended. That's just so you know how very particular I am with hands, where your hands has been, what you've done with your hands before you even shake me or come near my child or anything. Just ensure that you are neat first. Okay, so having said that, when COVID now came, I now upped my game very well. Like, in fact, my child already knew how to sanitize her hands before she was 1 year. Yes, like, because she always saw her and the dad always, washing her hands. She uses sanitizer and then she always washes her hands. Whenever I'm washing my hands, you see her stretching her hands, so she wants to wash her hands. So that's just how careful I think I was, and I always had my nose mask on every time I had to go out. So now here we are at home, just myself, my parents, and a guy that stays with my parents, just us. I'd not go anywhere. Anytime I needed anything, they always help me get whatever I need, for myself or for my child. I never stepped out. And it's that bad that when the guy I sent to buy something, when he brings back change, I'll tell him to keep it on the table because I don't want to touch the money. If I'm carrying my baby at that time, I don't want to touch the money. So as soon as he even drops it, I'm telling him to go and sanitize his hand or wash his hands, because somehow you still want to come and carry my child, yeah? So when I now got ill, it was malaria first. I was very ill. Like, I contacted my mom's doctor and told him, see what I'm having. I had sore throat first. It was just for like a day, so I didn't even pay attention to it because I already had sore throat earlier. So I just thought, okay, this one is still part of the whole change in weather and I'm going to be fine again. So I just told him, okay, I had sore throat first, but I didn't have catarrh, nothing. I was just running temperature, my body was hot. I was feeling very weak, guys, very, very weak. So after malaria, the doctor prescribed drugs. I took the drugs and I was actually getting better. Like, it was for like 5 days, yeah, but I was still very weak. Then there's a day I was strong enough, I entered the kitchen to cook. So I was making beans, and then I was in the kitchen there. My mom was on like, beans is burning, no, the beans is burning. And I'm like, I'm here in the kitchen, it's not burning. Like, how? I'm right here in the kitchen. And my mom was like, okay, since you say so. Guys, I checked the pots, my beans don't burn, no. The beans was burning. Yours truly did not perceive nothing. Hey, I was like, this is weird. Like, because guys, I have a very sensitive nose. Cheese. Ask anybody that knows me, they will tell you. In fact, my brothers always made fun of me, saying I needed to go work as a detective. Like, I'll be sniffing things. Like, my nose always picks the tiniest of smell. Guys, I didn't perceive beans burning. I knew most symptoms of COVID, but honestly, I didn't even know loss of smell and taste was part of it. I knew the cough, catarrh, fever, chest tightening or shortness of breath, sore throat. Those are the ones I really didn't know. But then it didn't hit me. I just felt it was weird, and I'm like, what kind of sickness is this one now? Like, I've never experienced it before. Never in my life have I ever lost my sense of smell or taste. But the sense of smell part was still feeling very weird. And then I was like, for me not to perceive things. The following day again, I was warming food for my mom to eat. It got burnt. My mom was like, this thing is burning. I went to the kitchen to check. I saw it was burning. I put my nose in the pot. I couldn't perceive anything. I said, okay, I was going to use the major test that I know, which is my baby's poop. Guys, since I had my baby, anytime I want to clean her up, I have to laugh in this part. I always close my nose because even myself, when I'm in the toilet, I used to close my nose. Whether it's smelling or it's not smelling, I don't want to just perceive anything, so I just close my nose. So my baby pooped. I was putting the diaper close to my nose, guys. I couldn't perceive a thing. I now wrote on my WhatsApp status something about you won't appreciate what you have until you lose it. Like, I can't even smell a thing. Immediately, my husband just sent me a message, babe, you have COVID. I actually started fidgeting in my mind. I'm like, how is that possible? Like, I didn't go anywhere. I've not been careless with my hygiene. I'm in fact extra careful. Everybody in my house just knows that. So how? Another friend of mine too, chatted me about. I was like, babe, that's symptom of COVID. I said, okay. Oh yeah, no. That's how I chatted my mom's doctor. I was not telling him that I can't perceive anything for like since yesterday. That's what I just told him. I was like, since the day before, I've not been able to perceive anything. I told him what happened. It was not like either it happened, but I knew he was just trying to be careful. Like, he didn't want me to panic or whatever it is that was on his mind. But I now kept insisting. I was like, that what should I do? I'm scared though. He prescribed some drugs for me though, and told me some things that I should do. And immediately after then, like, guys, in the house, so I started wearing nose mask because I was like, my daughter was still breastfeeding then. I don't even know if I had it or not because I didn't do tests. But for me to have lost my sense of smell and taste was like the height of it all. It was something I had never experienced in my life before. I have never ever experienced it. I would say I'm used to the whole malaria thing. It happens once in a while. Yeah, I get treated for malaria once in a while, but that was all. I didn't even have catarrh. I didn't have cough. There was no chest tightening. The only thing I knew was I was feeling very ill and like I was very weak. I could hardly pull myself up to do anything, but I still had to do them anyway because my mom, no one was going to take care of my mom. I had to bathe my mom, I had to make food for everybody. So imagine me, guys, I saw I go wear those masks. Everybody in the house was not like, what happened, but I didn't say anything to anybody because I didn't want anyone to start panicking because I didn't really understand it. Everybody that used to go to the hospital and come back, like, let me wait the house. Everybody actually seemed fine. Nobody was ill around me. But even though I knew, people often come to the house to see my mom. So I remember my husband saying something about I'll be very shocked if only maybe they can play a video for me to see how I cut whatever it is I cut. Because I just kept asking myself, like, how, when, where. Guys, I don't know. I've not had any physical contact with anybody. Even hug or nothing. I just did my own. Me and my pikin just did. Even although my mom, of course, is the only person I know I come in contact with. But my mom was not having any malaria or anything. It was just the kidney problem that she has. Okay, so I don't know. That's why I started the video with I think I had COVID, but I just thought to share what I went through. It wasn't a funny time. I was really scared. I was scared that I was not going to perceive anything. I just felt okay, maybe something was going wrong and maybe I totally lost my sense of smell and taste. I'll be cooking. I'm the one that will cook the food. I'll just be cooking. I can't perceive what I'm cooking. I'm sure I'm just cooking, adding everything. I couldn't even taste whatever I'm eating. The only taste I know I could figure was if something is sweet, if it's sugary, or if it's salty, or if it's bitter. Those three. But for you to get the taste of food, maybe to taste Maggi, or if there is ginger in the food or garlic, when a food is spicy or something, I just couldn't taste anything. So I wasn't even enjoying my food. I would just be eating and eating like let me just eat because I need to eat to get better, But man, hot water was not my friend though at that time. I should just drink hot water, even though that one was just my own thinking, not like the doctor asked me to. But I just felt okay, whatever it is, I will just do everything that I need to do to fight this thing. But guys, I only lost my sense of taste and smell for 3 days. On the 4th day, like gradually, I was now being able to perceive. What a relief. I was like, God, thank you. In fact, they say until something happens to you, that was when you appreciate what you have, right? That was when I started appreciating the fact that I could smell. Even though I used to complain of how my nose picks up smell, like I did perceive things. People will start looking at me as a weirdo, like my own is just too much, when people just start having this notion of you're just being extra. And so sometimes it used to make me feel somehow like, okay, let me just try and pipe down. So when I now lost the sense of smell, I was praying for it to come back. I can't, God, please. I will not complain about this thing again. I'm grateful for this gift you've given me. The fact that my nose can pick up smell. I just thought to share what I went through. It wasn't a funny period. I remember my mom's doctor was saying, you can't say you have this until you've been tested for it and then you are positive. So I couldn't even say, okay, I have COVID though, or I do not have COVID though, because I did not run tests, so I don't know if I get or if I don't get. But the symptoms was pointing to it that I had, because I have never lost my sense of smell and taste before. It was the first time, and it was for 3 days. On the 4th day, I started perceiving gradually. My baby's poop was my litmus test. That's what I was using to know if my sense of smell was coming back. To round off, that's a story to let you know how very sensitive my nose is. So before I and my husband got married, we were going somewhere, guys. We were on a bike. It was in Ibadan, I remember. We were on the bike together, and then I was like, I'm perceiving boli. Boli is roasted plantain. I was perceiving boli. I was like, someone is roasting plantain around here. We now looked, we didn't see anybody. Guys, it was like the next 2 junctions. The woman was at the junction. But also I was like, very soon. The way he just said, he said very soon. I will be using my nose to tell him if an ATM has money. Like when we go to withdraw money now, by sniffing, I'll say, okay, this one has money. Let's stay here and withdraw the money. Or, okay, there's no money here. Let's go to another place and withdraw money. That's how very sensitive my nose is. I just needed to share that. So guys, I think I had COVID, but I'm glad that I recovered from whatever it is. Maybe it's COVID or maybe it's not COVID. Whatever it was then, the fact that I can perceive and taste my food again was a miracle. I was so glad. I had to use nose mask all through till I got better, until I knew, okay, I was fine, I was healthy, and I could do the stuff I normally do without feeling weak or tired or anything. Thankfully, my daughter didn't fall ill that period because she was still breastfeeding, and I was always concerned and scared. I had to wash my hand after carrying her. Before carrying her, I'll wash my hands. Before feeding her, I'll wash my hands. So, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It's lifestyle and inspiration with Precious.